back to the video. Now, like I said, you're going to go to your real estate agent. You're going to say, Mr. Real Estate Agent, can you please give me a list of uh, real estate transactions within a low dollar range and a high dollar range? And in my case, I use $1,000 to $50,000. In your area, you have to find out what handyman specials are going for. In California, places like that, a handyman special might be the profit is $150,000 or $200,000. Okay, in Chicago, you can probably get a nice new house for $150,000 or $200,000. So you have to know what is considered a handyman special in your area. So you basically go to your real estate agent, give them the dollar range, give them the time frame. I used a year. I mean, you can use the last 30 days, the last 60 days, last 90 days. I wouldn't go longer than a year because your list is going to get really long, and that's going to play into the next steps in the process of actually getting the buyers. But anyway, 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, a year. That's your time frame. If you want to really streamline your list and find out who the real players are, then you might want to have your real estate agent only look for transactions that close with where the buyer of the property was paying all cash for the deal. Because if you find a bargain, okay, you find a bargain and you find a buyer who has all cash, it's going to be a whole lot easier and a whole lot quicker to get that transaction closed. Okay, so it's probably best if you look for cash buyers. And if you, because when you're building a buyers list, you can have a buyers list of 1,000, 2,000 people, or 500 people, whatever the case may be. But keep in mind that as you do more transactions, you're going to realize that only a few people on your list, a few people and entities on your list, are going to actually be doing deals with you. Okay. But anyway, so the real estate agent got back to me in less than a week's time with a list of properties that closed within that time frame that I talked about, and within that dollar amount in the areas that I was interested in. Okay, and I basically gave me a list. Now, your next step, and you're probably gonna say, well, Richard, my real estate agent gave me a list of pieces of real estate that's sold. How do I find out who the buyers are? Okay, now you have to you're going to have to do a little bit more research to find out who the buyers are. Here in the city of Chicago, the real estate transactions are all online, and in other parts of the country and other counties, a lot of these counties are putting this information online. Okay, so if you have it available to you online, then you can sit up in front of your computer, type in addresses, and find out who the buyers of these properties are. Okay, in Chicago and in Cook County where I live, each property has what's called a property identification number, and I guess it's the equivalent of a social security number or an EIN. It's a unique number that's unique to that particular property. So when you say 25-10-13-14-0000, you know that particular property is has a particular common address. So basically what I had to do is basically take the address, go to one's website, get the property identification number, and then go to another website to enter the property identification number to get the recordings on that particular piece of real estate. Now, in your county, it might be a little different. You might be able to put in what's called the common address, which is the number and the street, and enter that information in the recorder's website. Whatever case may be, you need to know how these transactions are done in your particular area. And if you're not sure how they're done, meaning how would you do the query, then obviously you would need to call up your the county officer. In Cook County it's called the recorder, but in your county it might be called something different. That deals with the recordings on transaction. Um, like I said, I got the address, got the property identification number, enter the property identification number into the recorder's website, got the recordings, looked for basically the the last recording on the property, and it has the person selling the property and the person who's buying the property. Find out who bought the property and add that to my database. Okay, and that's basically it. Now, obviously, your next step is to get the address of the purchaser. Now, going back to the question, are people buying real estate? Uh, in one particular zip code, a zip code in the Chicago area that has been really hit with, with this downturn in the real estate market, there were literally 1,200 transactions within a year's time under those queries that under that query that I submitted to the real estate agent. 1,200 transactions. That's basically 100 transactions a month. In another area that I farm, there were 800 transactions, and in another area there were 700 transactions, and in another area there were 1,000 transactions. So people are buying real estate. Okay, but what was interesting about the list that I finally got, the list of the buyers. What was interesting were the types of buyers there were. Obviously, you had individuals, John Doe, buyer, but there were also more sophisticated buyers. I'm talking about people who, I'm talking about corporations and LLCs, limited liability companies. If you don't know what an LLC is, uh, you know, purchasing properties. There were properties put into a trust, which is another savvy way of asset protection. And also, and if you see this in your research real estate transactions, there were uh, uh, a type of entity, a type of LLC, a type of limited liability company called a series LLC. And if you see that on your list, uh, series LLCs are not that common. Uh, and I'm not even sure if in all parts of the country that they're legal, so to speak. But if you see a series LLC in your list, understand that that entity, the people who the people who form the LLC are very sophisticated investors. Okay, and you definitely want to get in contact with them, to find out what their, what their, what their objectives are as far as buying real estate. So,